good stuff there, Joe. Let's just do this. I'm going to share also. We've talked so far about going back into our funnel and finding out where people are at and who they are and so on and so forth. Mayor campaign one at a time, conventional methods, activity at a time. Our third major point on assembling our database here is that you can grow your database groups at a time. And this is where, and it doesn't mean that you want to just assemble by group at a time, but this is a way that you could certainly get a kickstart and jump ahead. And so I want to share some things. First, we have a program we've taught here for years called the Office Adoption Plan. Now, this is typically where you have an agent who is leaving or plans on leaving the real estate business. And so a lot of times, again, you can work out for a year, hey, I'll pay your referral fees and so on and so forth, and you're looking for an introduction from this realtor to their database. So what we have is a former realtor or lender assimilation letter, which is a letter that goes out from the person who owns the database on your behalf to their database. And then there'll be a letter coming from you to their database. And so this is a great way to grow a database. So you have an agent who's leaving the office, wants to retire, maybe someone who has a good database, but they weren't able to do much with it. And basically they're handing off their database to you. And so we've provided in the Online Resource Center all the letters you need so you can download them and send them out on your behalf so that you can send this out to the customer. Sometimes realtors move, that happens as well. Sometimes they retire, move out of state, and they want to make sure that their database is taken care of. So we have the letters provided there, but that's a great way to pick up the database of an agent who's either left the office, is leaving, work out a reasonable referral fee for a period of time, and it's a great way for someone who's new to the business, new to the area, or someone who really needs to grow their database to grow it in a group, okay? Another way to grow by groups. This is a very, very popular system. It's called the change of address card. And the change of address card is after you help somebody sell a home or buy a home, and they've got their new home, their new address. And what you do is, hey, one of the things I'd like to do for you is provide for you a change of address card. I'm trying to take a picture of you and the family in front of the new home. You're looking at the webinar. You'll see a sample of this. We've moved our new addresses. And this is a great way to tell people, say, hey, look, I'll do this for you. It's a service I provide. It's one less thing you have to do. We have to tell all your friends and family members where you're at and so on and so forth. I'll do this all for you. And if you want, I'll print up labels for you or print out the new addresses and everything for you. So now what happens, you have your customers giving you their database. They're giving you their names, address, phone numbers of their friends and family. And now you have a chance to send it out. And then if you choose to, make a follow-up phone call. Hi, just following up. Just helped David and Jamie buy their new home. Want to follow up with you. I send out a change of address card on their behalf. Want to make sure you got it and that you update your records. Great. And you get a chance to have a conversation, leave a message. Very good way to grow a database. Another very popular way is a housewarming party. And that is you help somebody buy a home. Maybe you've done the change of address card already, but now, 60, 90, 120 days after they moved in, you help host a housewarming party and you provide invitations. And, you might do some finger foods and some punch and this kind of stuff. And you help create and put on a housewarming party for your customers. Now, the beautiful thing is they provide you the database. You call to invite the people who are coming to the party and invite them. Come on, we'd love to have you. Your presence is the only gift they need, that kind of stuff. Gives you a chance then to be at the party. You help support the family you've put into that new property. And then you follow up with the people who attended with a little thank you note for coming. And these have been hugely successful, okay? And then you can follow the client priority protocols that we have in other parts of the training.
I don't want anyone to overlook what you're sharing right here.
Yeah.
So they know the gravity of this information right here is extremely powerful. And I've seen it right in front of my eyes. Mm-hmm. I had a fellow, many of folks listening may have heard of the name Paul Hendershot. Paul Hendershot was a market maker on Wall Street. Mm-hmm. Real smart guy, was doing extremely well, was feeling a little stressed out over the whole Wall Street environment. So we wanted to take a more peaceful and relaxing route. So what he did is he left New York, came to Chicago, got his real estate license. He attended the Turning Point that was being held that Brian was doing in Chicago. That's where I met him. Mm-hmm. Now, he came into the Chicagoland area, didn't really know anyone. We wind up connecting. He joins my office, he doesn't have a database, and he literally, I don't know anyone. I already have the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker in my database. How else, you know? And so we went back and we sat through we reviewed the Turning Point workbook, and we wanted to just target a few strategies that he can use to help build his database. Well, he zeroed in on the housewarming party. He really liked this idea. So he wound up using a conventional method in a relational way, got a buyer, worked with the buyer, helped the buyer find a home. Then he decided, we'll do the housewarming party like we talked about. He does the housewarming party. He invites 21 people of his clients, their family members and friends. They come to the party. They have a great time. He does a raffle, a $25 gift certificate to the bakery down the street. So in the raffle, in order to fill out a raffle ticket, you need to put your name, address, and phone number.
Sure.
So he collected that information. Those people became part of his database. He started working that group. He got one listing as a result of it. The listing sold. And then the listing he sold, they wound up buying a house. He did the housewarming party again.
Yep.
He got 3 transactions from it. One of those transactions was a buyer who bought. So he did the housewarming party again.
Nice.
He parlayed this whole experience. It came out to 14 closed transactions with this one idea. Now, here's the interesting part. He got so busy from getting all these transactions, he stopped doing the housewarming parties.
Right.
Isn't that kind of how it works?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's why we do. That's why we do coaching, Joe, trying to keep these folks back on track. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we know the story. We have hundreds of stories. You know, I think of the lady who moved out to Seattle to be with her daughter, knew 7 people, did an open house, met a buyer, helped her buy a home, did the change of address card and the housewarming. She got 62 people to show up at the party. Okay, did a great job with the party. Followed up with people. Within about 2 months, about 25 of those folks were still in her database. She's following up. Turns out one of those people was a human resource director for one of the largest companies in town, and they started having her coming in doing buyer seminars, how to put your property on the market. She started then ultimately handling the relocations for the company, so on and so forth. But she had a database from just doing a change of address card and a housewarming party from one client, ended up over the course of 90 days adding over 160 people to her database. So again, it's about leveraging these things. It's about executing on these things. They're all ideas. We're not trying to overwhelm people with ideas, but pick one, execute on it, and go do it. Now, again, remember, if this webinar you're watching or if you're listening to this on CD, go to buffiniandcompany.com/peak. Go in there for your online resource center. Put in your username and your password that we gave you when you registered for the course. Also, building a database requires that you have a database management system or a CRM. Not only do we want to help you to be a rainmaker, a deal maker, and a money maker, but we've produced what we believe is the finest CRM in the real estate business called Referral Maker. And, make sure that you utilize this. You've got a 30-day free trial. We want to make sure you take full advantage of it. We believe you're going to love it. So make sure you register for that on your CRM. This is a great way for you to utilize the tools that we've developed for you. And this is the only CRM that comes with training and the tools to be able to go execute the working by referral system. So we want to make sure you take full advantage of that. I would encourage you all to listen to this particular recording no less than 6 times. I would encourage you to ingrain it in your mind. There was so much content, so many how-tos, so many little dialogues Joe and I covered. I encourage you to listen to it again and again and again. Thanks for joining us today. Continue listening, continue working by referral, living the good life. You're well on your way to being a peak producer.